Hey guys, Darcy here, and today we're going to talk about how I go about mixing vocals. Let's jump into it. So right out of the gate, I want to clarify, I'm not of the mindset that this is a video to be step by step, this is what you should do. I just want to inspire and show you my process. Maybe it helps you because, it's something that I've learned over the years to help me get a better sound. The main thing from this is I actually do route things in a very common convention, but my process is that I reverse everything, and I will show that in a second. But the context behind that is that I used to years ago when starting out really over EQ and over process early on the vocals in a very solo type fashion, and I found that I wasn't getting that glue amongst multiple artists. And so what I really focus on is process everything at a high level, at a main bus level, and then work my way backwards. But let's not waste any more time. Let's jump into it and so you can see what that's all about. We have the session open up here, and this is the full mix, but we're gonna break this down first by spilling or just showing the all the vocal buses going into this all vocals. Now the thing about this is that I really focus on this all vocals track first, even though we have all of these other vocal buses for the individual artists and dubs and ad-libs. This is going to be the meat of where everything lives. But let me actually back up for 1 second and show you kind of the general idea of how the signal process goes. So the signal will technically go from one of these lead vocals on an artist, go into their individual bus. So we have one for Vox, for one for Ty, and one for XX. Then it's going to go into the all vocals track from there, and then goes up into the submix. Technically, all of the plugins applied are going to follow that order. However, going back to this all vocals, the way I actually do my work, the order of which I actually think and process things, will start with all vocals. What will happen is at the very beginning, there will be no real inserts on the individual tracks, barely any inserts or nothing on the buses. And I will start at the all vocals level. What I will do in the very beginning is focus on these API summing and tape saturation. I will focus on adding saturation presence to the vocals and seeing what that does for the vocals. Once I get a sense of, okay, this is bringing things forward, then I will go down here, add things like the suppressor, soothe, Pultec EQ, maybe some multi-band compression, maybe some parallel compression. The idea here is I'm going to, with broad strokes, for instance, with this EQ, enhance the vocals a little bit more, maybe do some broad strokes, resonance filtering with soothe, but I'm at the whole here trying to bring everything forward, seeing 8K, 10K, what does this track need for these vocals to sit well, get a general sense, but there'll still be problems with the vocals. But now I get a sense, what is the problem with those vocals? So then I will go backwards to the individual buses like XX here and decide, there's more compression that's needed on this individual artist, to balance them out. There's a little bit of EQ, a couple of frequencies on this individual artist that are not quite working properly. So we will have to address those as it's being pushed into that all vocals. Sometimes you'll realize, okay, I'm looking at XX here and this 1176 is doing a good job, but sometimes at the individual track level, there's certain parts that are going to pop out. For instance, this little section here is quite loud. So sometimes you need to add compression on the individual track level to, tuck things down before they hit that 1176, that individual artist bus compression, to ensure that it's not overworking and everything is sounding balanced the way you want. So that's what happened with this artist. But if we close this out and go take a look at Ty, the other artist, there's far more happening here. We have far more processing of EQ because there's more resonance issues. We have an individual version of soothe. And on the track levels, we have additional EQ. We have also on this track level, we don't have any compression, but we have, its own additional EQ to, get the sound where we want it to be. As well, there's even actual tape on the bus level of this artist. And what we're doing is we're adding a 7.5 tape, which rolls off a lot of highs in a musical way, because, you know, there's a lot of resonance in this artist. The idea here is that now we're treating this artist individually and trying to fix the problems and get them to a balanced place before they get into that main all vocals track. So kind of just recapping this, I will start at the all vocals level, work my way back to the individual artist bus, and then work my way to the individual tracks when I find those small micro problems. What I really want to emphasize here about this process, or at least my approach to it, is that, you know, if I could get a recording where all it needed was a little bit of saturation, a little bit of bus compression, a little bit of EQ, and that was it, in that case, would not want to have gone and EQ'd all the individual tracks looking for problems that didn't exist. So that's why I start there at that main all vocals bus, is I want to find out, with a little bit of processing at that level, do I need to do anything else? Anyways, I hope that you found this helpful. If you did, let me know that in the comments. Let me know if there's anything you want me to do a follow-up video on, and otherwise, have yourself a great day. Peace.